everybody. I hope you are having a great day. Let's open our presentation. Here it is. Okay. So, today we are going to talk about not this. We are going to talk about how to turn writing, academic writing, because that is what you do around here, from a chore to a treat. There you go. My 3 tips. Three. These 3. Okay, good. So, you hear a lot of people saying, academics saying they don't like writing. People on Twitter saying, "Oh my God, why do I? Writing is so hard. It's horrible. Why do I need to write? I just do my research and why cannot I download it from my brain to the paper? It will be great." And us in doing qualitative research and management, where we write like really long papers. I mean, like 40 pages. You're like squeezing stuff in. It's too short. This just takes forever. Like you read like these papers in biology with 3 pages. You're like, oh my God, 3 pages. That's heaven. So the idea, the narrative is, writing is a core. And, I definitely think part of it is about that writing really exposes you to your limitations and to your self-confidence or lack thereof. And so, I've been writing for a long time, and I have to tell you that it's, at this time, I really enjoy teaching. I enjoy being in the classroom, being with my students. But, writing is really why I do this job. I just love writing. And I actually came to see myself more as a writer, writing on a specific genre on nonfiction called academic research, than a researcher that writes. So I definitely identify myself as a writer more than I identify myself as a researcher, because I spend much more time writing than actually analyzing and collecting data. So anyways, so here are my 3 tips. I'm learning how to do YouTube content with the 3 tips. This goes from the more immediate, let's say, to the less immediate. So the first thing is materials and environment, right? Remember, that feeling of when you got your school supplies, your pens, you're super cool. I never had me. I wasn't very well. My family wasn't very well off when growing up, but I really loved this pen sets where that had like cartoons or something, or that had some super cool features. But even getting a nice pen, all the new notebooks and so on. Materials can be really exciting. And so I would really encourage you to take your materials and your environment seriously. Okay. For example, in Scrivener, let me open it up and show you. So in Scrivener, the reason I normally write at 125% Times New Roman double space. It's not just because journals want this. It's because that's the way I like to write. Right, the font I like to write. I like my notes in this Courier font. That's when I feel that it's like drafty. I'm really producing ideas, and I enjoy Scrivener in general. I showed you Scapel. I enjoy that. I like. I'm just wrapping up a paper, and I'll show you. I like a lot drawing graphs by hand, and this will open eventually. So just make sure that you use materials that you enjoy. It can also be a pen and a piece of paper, whatever. But just be sure that you're using materials that you enjoy to write. Including the software, right? So can I show you this? Let me see if I can show you. Okay, there you go. So yesterday I was doing this. I really enjoy, picking up my pen and working on this on the iPad. I really like that. But but if you like doing this, I want to recommend like writing your paper in. I used to do this, by the way, in notebooks and then transcribing it. But if you like to do outlines in notebooks and so on, do it. I mean, even if you don't have it on your computer, just take a picture. I show you how to use Scrivener for that. But just do it. Just really use the materials that you enjoy using in your writing process. Okay. The second thing is environment. Okay. Just I know now we can't do this. We can't go to libraries. We can go to coffee shops and so on. But even at home, we can have like cool environments. So I can show you. I was just on a funny thread on Twitter, and I shared the picture of my desk. And my desk is actually the only thing non-IKEA that I have. Okay, so I'll show you tweets. What are my tweets? Where I don't have it here. Well, but I have it here on my downloads, so I'll show you. Where's my man? I like literally. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is my desk. This is a 1950s, sort of like bureau. This opens and shuts down. I really like this. I like the wood. You see, it has all of these, scratches and blemishes from older. I bought it used from some people that had it before. My favorite pictures of me and my son and the family are here. I just love to sit on my wooden desk. Again, it's the only thing I got that is not from IKEA, and it's the most expensive piece of furniture I have ever bought on my own in my life. It's from 1930s or 1940s, and I just love that I'm writing on this piece of furniture with history. Have a beautiful window, full floor to ceiling window by my side that looks into the river. So I really enjoy the environment. Pardon my pillow, I'm a little dead. And this, I really enjoy like sitting at my desk. I really enjoy sitting at my desk to write. I like that. During my PhD, I used to sit at, we used to go to a super nice coffee place in Lisbon. And I went there every day to write, and people knew me, and they brought me my breakfast without me asking me telling them that I wanted it or what it was, and I was an usual customer. So there's also that human side that I really like, man. And I have to tell you, like, the best place that I have ever written in my entire life. Okay, this is so cool. I don't know if it exists anymore, but in the main library at Harvard, not Harvard Business School, Harvard University, there were floors. I think so. May have been at the business school, but I'm almost positive that it wasn't. There are a lot of floors like down below, which just like it's completely dark. There are shelves and shelves, and at the end of each corridor of shelves, there was a little desk with just like a small light bulb that you could, just pull the string and it will light, and there would be like nobody. I mean, thinking about it, this is like how horror movies start, right? I know. But it was so peaceful, so quiet, so focused. I really enjoying being, this heavy smell of books, and I just love writing there. So just make sure, and if you can, so spend some money in your materials, on your desk. My chair is cheap. It's not a fancy chair. It's just €30 for IKEA. But I did spend. I mean, my desk is a couple hundred. I mean, it's not like it's thousands. Okay, but I just really enjoy it. Okay, so materials and environment. Second, seeing writing as a craft. I told you at the beginning of the video that I saw myself as a writer, much more than a researcher, and part of that is that I really care about writing. And you've probably seen that in some of the tools that I use. So, the reason I use Hemingway is to write better sentences. It's and I and I do see writing as a craft, like like making a beautiful piece of pottery, or I wouldn't call it art because it's it's more functional than you know writing for research. It's still functional. You have to communicate information, not just to make to write a beautiful piece of text. But I do like writing beautiful pieces of text, and I get away with it sometimes in research papers. At least in my drafts I do it, and sometimes I just then edit it out. But but learn to enjoy writing, the process of writing, of choosing the right words, of having the sentence variety. Remember, we saw that when I showed you per writing aid, the sentence variety, caring about that, and taking pride in in bringing a section of a paper from grade 16 to grade 12 in Hemingway. That's a big accomplishment. It's not easy. And if the ideas remain there, if you're not oversimplifying, which I try not to do, just enjoy and develop this craft. Develop this craft of writing. No, knowing that every revision that you made, every edit, every paper that you write is an opportunity to improve as a writer, to improve your craft. It's a little bit like when you go out and run, and there's always the time, right? You want to beat your time and improve your time, but it's also about having the right cadence, managing your heart rate, and so on. That's a craft of running. So really focus on that craft, so that every time that you are doing a piece of academic writing, you are improving as a writer. It's training as a writer, and you'll be surprised sometimes. When you Yesterday, I was talking to some co-authors, and I said I come across an old piece that we had written and never published, sadly. And and I read it. I read the parts that I wrote, and I was really surprised how far I've came as a writer, not as a researcher. It's not about the ideas, but the sentences, the word choice, the variety. That's really something that is an accomplishment in itself. And finally. Um, and this third one is maybe a little bit personal. Is about how you see papers and academic writing. And I see it a lot as puzzle solving. I have this data. How do I transform this data into an idea, right? So you have a bunch of pieces. How do you bring them together? Uh, it can be a little bit like bricolage, like you have all these disparate pieces and you need to make something unique about them. Um, so I I do see writing as that, as an opportunity to solve. So I sort of have these like two different sequential motivations when writing a piece. So when I'm writing sort of like the outline and the first draft, it's all about coming up with this idea, with the framing, um, bringing together all this data bringing together all this data together, bring all this data together, finding links among them, linking them to conversations in the literature, and finding my place. I find that really exciting and motivating. And then when I move from that to really putting the ideas on paper and the draft, then it's a lot more about the writing as a craft, as the writer and their craft. To wrap up, I want to share with you two beautiful quotes from Sherlock Holmes novels that sort of mean a lot to me and inspire me a lot as far as academic writing. Um, and I hope that you'll find them, if not motivational or uplifting, at least fun. Okay. First one is from my favorite story from Sherlock Holmes. It's called The Red-Headed League. Beautiful story. And this quote is, why I'm not a novelist, why I see myself as a writer, but as an academic writer. Okay, and an academic writer of qualitative research. And I'll just read you. It's such a beautiful quote. So this is Sherlock Holmes speaking to Watson. You will remember that I remarked the other day, just before we went into the very simple problem presented by Miss Mary Sutherland, that for strange effects and extraordinary combinations, we must go to life itself, which is always far more daring than any effort of the imagination. And this, my friends, is why academic research, and especially qualitative research in companies and organizations, is great. I'm so grateful that I get to do this, because what goes on in organizations, there are plenty of strange effects and extraordinary combinations in organizations. And what happens, what I have seen, and I'm sure many of you have seen, if you do qualitative research, observation, interviews, is that we see things that, as Conan Doyle put it, are more daring than any effort of the imagination. But then I need to read you this other bit, because it's so beautifully written. I'll never be able to get away with writing something like this on a paper. But I just want to show you what a master of our craft, a master of the craft of writing, is capable of doing. Look at this sentence and how beautifully written it is. It is beautiful and amazing. And it is worth writing paper after paper after paper so that you reach even half of the skill as a craftsperson, as a writer craftsperson. Conan Doyle writes, "You did, doctor, you did doubt what I said. But nonetheless, you must come round to my view, for otherwise, and this is it, I shall keep piling fact upon fact on you until your reason breaks down under them and acknowledges me to be right." Look at this beautiful image of you're piling facts upon facts, and the sound of it. And then you have piled so many facts that when you pile a lot on top of something, that something breaks down, and that's Watson's reason. That is so beautiful, so beautiful. I mean, and I probably will never be able to come up with something like this, but the hope that my craft will improve to this level. I know it won't. I know it won't. I'm not a good writer, but just having this dangling there, this master crafts dangling there, just really, really inspires me. Okay, now. Second quote, it's about sort of the type of papers I write, which are ambitious papers, right? They're, and sometimes, I'm always very demanding with myself, and I always think, that sometimes you need to publish something, you should always publish like super high, but sometimes, you just have suggestive data, not conclusive data for an idea. You won't be able to publish it super high, but this is such a bold idea, and I like bold ideas, and I hope that if you read, especially the papers where I did the most, which are my two MS quarterly papers, you'll recognize this sentence in those papers, because that's what I write for. And this is I'll read the quote, but I'll first tell you what I love about it. So I'll read the quote, and if you want to stop the video here, do it. But if you want to hear it, just stay to the end. At the end, I'll just look if there are any questions and say goodbye. It says here, the triumphant vindication of bold theories. Are these not the pride and the justification of our life's work? The triumphant vindication of both theories. And that's how I see writing and the revision process. The core ideas for my dramaturgical and my transfiguration paper in MS Quarterly, those core ideas, I see them, for many other people they may seem trivial, but for me these were, and my understanding of that literature, this was a bold theory, a novel view on a process or a phenomenon. Something that I came up with myself, my own ideas, my own bold theories. And and obviously, like all of us, I had, helpful reviewers, but it was a struggle, the review process. Very helpful reviewers in AE, but, but because they're helpful, they're also demanding. And so, there's a sense of triumph. There must be a sense of triumph, even if fleeting, but you have won that review process and you have vindicated your theories. Art is not the pride and justification for our work. That's what keeps me going in writing. This opportunity to assemble data, to enter an academic conversation with a bold statement. That's what keeps me going. Okay? So I hope you enjoy this. I'll read the rest of the paragraph, but before that, if you're watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to like and subscribe. So, this is another case where Inspector Lestrade, the police, is telling Holmes, why don't we just like arrest this person? Why are we like setting a trap? And Holmes laughs and replies, Watson insists that I'm the dramatist in real life. Some touch of the artist wells up within me and calls insistently for a well-staged performance. Surely our profession would be a drab and sordid one if we did not sometimes set the scene as to glorify our results. The blunt accusation, the brutal tap on the shoulder, what can one make of such a denouement? But the quick inference, the subtle trap, the clever forecast of coming events, the triumphant vindication of bold theories, are these not the pride and the justification of our life's work? At the present moment, you thrill with the glamour of the situation and the anticipation of the hunt. Where would that thrill be if I had been as definitive as a timetable? Okay? Hope you enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun sharing this with you. I'll check if there are any questions in chat. Otherwise, I'll just say bye-bye. No questions. So, goodbye, everybody. I hope you enjoy this. Have a great time. Bye.